The night the flames devoured everything I had built, I stood barefoot in the cold ashes of what used to be my life. The wreckage behind me was still smoldering, blackened beams, pools of melted glass, the air thick with a bitter stench of betrayal mingled with smoke. Shaking, swallowing every ounce of pride I had left, I called the only person who always had a spare key to my home, the one who had sat across from me every Sunday for a decade, raising glasses while our wives chatted in the kitchen. My best friend. Just until insurance clears, I asked, voice raw and nearly breaking. He chuckled coldly. We're not running a shelter, man. Then silence, but he forgot to end the call. That's when I heard her voice next, my wife's. She was laughing with him, toasting to their new freedom. He actually begged, she slurred. For 3 nights, I slept in the shell of my car. Smoke-stained clothes clung to my skin. My fingertips burned from digging through what little was left. All I could think about was the countless meals I had cooked for the two of them, the weekends I had hosted, the fake smiles they wore like masks while stabbing me in the back. On the 4th morning, clarity hit me like cold water, a clause buried deep in the divorce paperwork. Clause 48B. My lawyer, fierce and meticulous, had insisted it stay. I hadn't cared at the time, but now it was my salvation. In the event of infidelity with a mutual acquaintance, the recipient forfeits sole rights to the property. While they celebrated, assuming I was broken, I was quietly observing. I rented a small apartment under an alias. While my home was being restored, I legally regained control of it, the clause enforced by a discreet, understanding judge. It took 6 weeks for them to move in and get comfortable, playing house in the ruins of my marriage. During that time, I installed remote cameras, microphones, security systems, all perfectly legal, all perfectly placed. I recorded everything. Him wearing my robe, lounging in my slippers, sipping wine by the fireplace I had built stone by stone. When the insurance payout arrived, I reinvested every cent into upgrades, soundproof walls, smart locks, advanced surveillance, motion detectors. Then I waited for the perfect night, their anniversary. At exactly 7 p.m., as they sat down to celebrate, my lawyer served them both with legal notices. Eviction. They laughed, thinking it was a bluff, until the footage arrived, neatly packaged with court orders. Evidence of infidelity. Triggering the clause. They had 72 hours to vacate. When they refused, I made the house uninhabitable for my phone. Lights off, water shut, alarms blaring at random intervals. They called the police. The police called me. I handed over footage. The officers escorted them out the following morning, their humiliation caught by the local tabloids that had a field day broadcasting their disgrace. But I wasn't finished. They moved into his place, a home I knew well from summers spent there in our youth, when his parents were away. I still knew its weaknesses. I contacted an old acquaintance who worked in IT security. He slipped a small tracking program into my ex-wife's laptop, not to spy, just to gather the data I needed. And it worked. Within days, I discovered she had drained our daughter's college fund just 2 days after the divorce was finalized, claiming it was for legal expenses. With irrefutable evidence, I returned to court. She lost joint custody. Her parents, furious and ashamed, cut ties completely after seeing the documentation I sent them. Then came my final move against him. He had carefully built a public persona, a podcast empire preaching ethics and integrity in business. When he landed a massive sponsorship deal, I saw my opening. Anonymously, I uploaded a curated collection of surveillance videos and legal files to a private cloud and sent the link to his new sponsors. The fallout was immediate. The deal collapsed. Sponsors pulled out one after another. Social media exploded, dragging his name through the mud. One viral post said it best. A screenshot of him standing in my kitchen, wearing my clothes. The caption read, "Integrity or infidelity." Weeks later, he called me. His voice trembled with a mixture of regret and fear. "I didn't know she'd do that to you," he stammered. "I miss my life." I said nothing. The silence was heavy, hollowing him out more effectively than any words could. Then I hung up. Now, I live peacefully, alone, but never lonely. The house is mine again. Clean, quiet. My daughter visits on weekends. painting in the very room where they once betrayed me. She'll never know the full story. I've given her peace. Sometimes I sit by the fire, reflecting on how easy it is to miss a decay beneath the surface when you're too busy preparing the feast. They call it manipulation. I call it justice. He thought I was weak. She thought I was blind. But I was neither. I was patient. And when patience is combined with clarity, it becomes indistinguishable from vengeance. I never destroyed them. I simply watched them burn their own world to ground. All I did was hand them the matches.